Hi there. This video was made in July of 2024, so first of all, I need to say it has nothing at all to do with the current political climate. If you're watching this after the November election, then hopefully this will remind you of what a time that was. I'd wanted to give this a try since at least April, and I was really amazed at the results. This is a simple dish of Italian-style pasta that breaks all the rules, as you'll see here. The story behind the name of this pasta comes from Italian folklore, of course, because there seems to be a story about the origin of every popular dish. The story goes that a drunk cook in Italy accidentally burned the pasta, and it was served to the guest, who of course was a noblewoman. When she tried it, the flavor was so intense she asked the cook, "Are you trying to kill me?" And thus was born spaghetti all'Assassina, also known as Assassin's pasta. Before making the pasta, first we have to prepare the tomato broth. That's nothing more than sautéing a little minced garlic, then adding a can of tomato puree. Although you can use a jar of spaghetti sauce if you like, but tomato puree works just fine. Mix in a little salt and pepper, then we fill the tomato can with water and mix it in. Bring it to a simmer, and the tomato broth is ready. Now we keep the heat on low as we prepare a cast iron pan. This is a large 12-inch cast iron skillet because it needs to be big enough to cook the spaghetti without breaking. Nonetheless, this cast iron pan here has gotten hot enough, so let's get started. That means, of course, we start off with some olive oil, in fact, a fair amount. Maybe about a quarter cup or so. And now to this, we're going to do a nice heaping serving of red pepper flakes. Quite a bit, in fact, because again, this is indeed going to be something of a hot dish. There we go. And that would be a little bit of minced garlic, not too much. And we're only going to simply sear this for, I don't know, less than a minute. Again, this is olive oil with red pepper flakes and a little bit of garlic. And to this, I'm going to throw in, I'd say about 8 ounces of spaghetti. There we go. Got to make sure it fits. There we go. That's about right. Maybe a wee bit more. And we should be good. Now from here, we need to toss this dry spaghetti and get it completely coated, carefully, in our oil and toast it. This is definitely not going to take long at all, in fact. I could tell already because this pan is so hot. However, as you can see, this is indeed starting to soften the spaghetti already. Let's start spooning in the tomato broth carefully. Simply start turning the pasta over. And we're going to do this until the pasta, caramelizes. I have to say, using this cast iron pan here, it sure does not take long for the water to evaporate. And we're just going to keep doing this until the spaghetti is completely cooked. So this is definitely a different method for making pasta, that's for sure. One that, again, is actually pretty well known in Italy, not so much here in the United States. Let's throw in a couple more scoops, shall we? Add another scoop or two, shall we? All right. as you can see, actually, another reason why they call this Assassin's pasta, this tomato puree broth here is definitely taking on a nice blood red type of color. And apparently this is something of a controversial dish as well, for simply the reason the way we cook it. As you can see, again, we're cooking it in a pan by adding broth to it instead of boiling the noodles. Well, we are starting to get close, I can tell already. This pasta is not yet at al dente. I suppose by now I should at least sample a piece to see whether it's approaching al dente. Well, let's take this. No, we definitely have some ways to go yet. Oh man, but I can taste that flavor even in that. Yeah, the spaghetti is still rather hard. Oh yeah, that is an intense flavor, all right. Holy cow. Safely add a little bit more broth. I mean, as you can see, it's definitely softening. It's only a matter of absorbing the broth and the liquid in the broth. Reportedly, this does take like maybe twice as long to prepare as a typical boiled spaghetti, which is not long, meaning that if it takes you about 10 minutes to boil spaghetti, you could probably expect to have this done in about 20 minutes. Oh, it's definitely softening. It is still not al dente yet, but it is definitely softened more than the last time we tried it. So this is working. Oh, and one more thing. Yes, I am using tomato sauce in a cast iron pan. The horror. As you can see, this pan is permanently ruined, and I'll never be able to cook anything in it ever again. And yeah, I mean, look at the color on this too. Oh, this is way different. And yes, by the way, I did use box pasta. I still cannot make my own homemade pasta, but look at the color on this. I do believe the noodles have actually expanded in size too, which I hope gives a sign that they are approaching done. All right, let's test it again. Hot, hot, hot. Oh. By Jove, I think we've got it. That is pretty good. Since this isn't boiling and the liquid's not equally distributed, I should probably try one more piece to be sure that it's all the way done. No, that's not an excuse. I'm going to be eating it anyway. So let's stick one up from maybe about here. We're likely done, but if you don't want it dried out, we'll just add a little bit more broth. This was a 28-ounce can of tomato puree, which I mixed in with an equal amount of water. I was thinking at first that might have been too much, but I'd say actually this looks like about the right amount. Let's mix all this together. And there is our assassin's pasta. The flavor is so intense. Yeah, I think I'd better add some cheese, in fact, to dilute it. Anyway, look it up, folks. Assassin's pasta. And I hope you like it. This was most definitely well worth the effort. And all we do is plate our spaghetti all'assassina, top it with cheese, and serve. I have to say, I was amazed at the intense flavor of this pasta, which is miles away from the sweet taste you usually get when you boil pasta and then drown it in sauce. It's not hard to make, but it does require a little patience. However, if you're brave enough to give this a try yourself, you'll certainly agree this was worth the effort. And I can also say I survived this assassination attempt, and I'll gladly serve it to any guests who come to visit. Except maybe one. Thank you for watching.